So there used to be this Doordarshan program called Vayalam Valvam in Tamil, like in 90s, and there was only one major television, Doordarshan.
Okay.
So even I remember watching, because there is only one program running. So they'll say you have to add this pyrea, this urea, what are this, so many different terms that they use. Yeah, probably farmers take that and add more to
Exactly.
the crops.
That is where the problem is. Maybe many times it is lack of education probably,
Okay.
but sometimes it's greed also.
I have another question. One thing I've heard is organic farming may be good for these pockets or like small 1-2 farmers, but if you want industrial level farming, industrial level supply, feeding like billion people, will organic farming be suited for that?
Yeah, well, I have myself many times felt that if everybody moves to organic farming, it may not feed the growing
Billion.
population of the world.
Hmm.
I have many times felt it, but my take on that is mainly because there is not proper structured research going on related to organic farming. I think organic farming has the potential to scale up a lot,
Okay.
to scale up to the level of chemical farming, but nobody is putting
That kind
any
of
effort
effort.
on research
Hmm.
to make it scale
Skilled.
up. So that is where I think the problem is. But the way it is right now being practiced, yes, that problem exists and it cannot feed the entire
Billion population. Okay. Have you heard of Nammalwar?
Yeah, I know.
Have you been to his farm?
No, I've not been to his farm, but
He's
I
one
know
of the
about him. He
Yeah.
is like,
pioneer.
pioneer. And Subhash Palekar took it to the next level, but Nammalwar and there are a few others down here also, like
Yeah.
Narayan Reddy and
Hmm.
Shottam Rao and all that, who have been contemporaries of Nammalwar. I know their concept and philosophy.
So there is a friend of mine. He is from Coimbatore. He is also like deep into organic farming. So he's not actually practicing it. He used to. His brother actually stayed in Nammalwar's farm and learnt a bit of organic farming. He also refers to this Japanese. Fukuoka, one star revolution. Yeah, what is that one star revolution?
One star revolution, he is kind of father of organic farming.
Oh, okay.
So what he proposed was no intervention
From
farming. So you can just go on expanding things and grow your food without intervention with just one straw in the beginning. That's a basic philosophy
Okay.
around that. So all these people are expanding on the same concept. These new age organic farming proponents with different variants of it have been proposing the same thing.
Okay.
It's all based on the same book. That's the Bible of organic or natural farming.
Farming. Oh, okay. He actually asked me to read it, but he never came around to read it. You have read it?
We may have it. Yeah, I have read it.
Okay.
I may have it in my library here, but
Okay.
I don't know whether I have it here or in Bangalore. No, I
So-
think I have it in Kannada here.
Oh, okay. There is another bird on that road.
But it is also laughing down.
Okay. So fearless, it's not move. No, it's fine. So recently I did an interview of a American author. So he wrote about travel and stuff.
Okay.
One thing he mentioned is that it's actually about his another friend who wrote this concept called nature fix. Basically what it means that everyone needs to experience nature, everyone, like 100% of the population at some form, to get that connect, so that they remain mentally probably refreshed, mentally healthy. Yeah. So you also believe in that we all need our
Definitely. Now there's this new term that is coined called nature deficiency syndrome.
nature deficiency NDS. Okay.
Yeah. Many people, particularly the city people across the world, are supposed to be suffering from this nature
NDS.
deficiency.
Okay. What is symptoms or how does it impact you?
Basically, you disconnect completely from
Nature.
nature and live in the virtual world.
Urban cities,
social media and everything else, all the screens and everything else. So you don't know what's really going on in the
Natural world.
natural world, and you don't know how to react to these things that are happening, and you don't know how to handle the natural situations. You always think that it's more like if somebody falls down.
You don't even have the empathy to
Most of the people don't even
how to respond and react to
think of
that.
going and helping.
Uh,
They'll think that somebody somewhere will come and,
yeah.
and you don't even think about who is that somebody.
Yeah. So actually, this is a. So here you would have, this guy, right? Microsoft CEO. Sorry, what's his name? I forgot his name. Satya Nadella. So Satya Nadella, in his Microsoft interview, in one of the interviews, probably HR interview, something like that, they asked him if a baby falls down, what will you do? And he was probably a very new engineer, or didn't have that much empathy at that time. He just said, I will call 911.
Oh, okay.
So then the
No, but it's
interview said that's not the natural response, right? You should go and help.
Exactly.
You should figure out how you can.
Definitely, that is a sign of nature
Deficiency syndrome, yeah. Then actually he mentions that in his book, and he says how he transforms. He gets married, he has a child, and the child has a few mental health issues, and that impacts him a lot, and how he grows empathy because of that. So I also read if you don't are connected with nature, you will have more anxiety.
Correct.
Yeah.
NDS is resulting into this depression and even suicide cases and all. There are many instances of that happening, and there are also research articles about it already.
Okay.
So, and that is exactly why we started
Chiguru.
getting people to come to the nature, understand things, get involved in that, get outdoor experience, and in a controlled environment, safe.
Yeah.
That way, that is the idea of having school children coming here and getting organic farming, how food is grown,
Okay.
and how do you deal with the trees, animals, plants, everything. So everything is interconnected, and we make them understand these things
Got it.
when they are around.
So I'll
Main
be
reason for starting school trips.
okay. So there will be a lot of schools who have come here.
Yeah, a lot of schools will come here, but this year because of COVID,
The number has come
it's
down.
not happening.
Okay. Overall, how
Some
many?
schools have reopened at all, and then
Uh,
they will all have to come in a bus
Okay.
together for social distancing issues and all that.
yeah.
Once they reach here, that will not be a problem.
Yeah.
The coming till here is a problem.
So these are palm trees, right?
Recollect.
Correct. Okay. And like overall, from your start till now, how many schools would have? How many students would have come here?
We started school trips, I think, 4 years back.
Okay.
First year it was very less, but overall I think we have hosted at least 5,000 students.
Oh, nice. That's a good number.
Yeah.
Okay. So we were sharing about Navadarshanam.
Yeah.
Are there other such places in Karnataka which have these similar models of organic farming, staying for a few days, learning about it, understanding the importance of it?
In Karnataka there is this there are a few places which offer you volunteering in organic farms. So there is I don't remember the name of it. I can find out and tell you. It's
Okay.
in Chamarajanagar district there is one.
Okay.
They are focusing on, their major focus is training in organic farming. I'll
Oh,
tell
okay.
you the name. I know the people and all, but
Oh, I
don't know the
forgot.
name of it.
Okay.
I'll give you the Facebook
Uh-huh.
page and everything. So then there is this what is it called? Savayava Krishi Parivar.
What is it?
Savayava Krishi Parivar.
Okay.
In, near Tirthalli,
Okay.
Shivamogga.
Okay.
So they are also good
Uh-huh.
into this organic
Organic
farming
farming.
training and volunteering and all. They are actually one of the pioneers of organic farming. Like I mentioned about Purushottam Rao.
Uh-huh.
It was started by him actually.
Okay.
He's a contemporary of Nammalwar.
Oh, okay.
He's not there anymore, but his kids are continuing with that.
Uh-huh.
So now Savayava Krishi Parivar is also growing
Okay.
slowly.
Uh,
They go around and they have volunteers who go to other places and convince farmer to convert to organic farming. and
okay.
all. So they have been doing that successfully, and they also
Okay.
take people to do
Okay.
work with them to do these things.
Okay. Across India, are there others? Like I think Nammalwar also provides some kind of residency.
Yeah.
Apart
Across
from
India also there are a few I have heard about, but although I have not
being there.
been
Okay.
there, but again each of them have their own versions of this organic
Organic
farming.
farm, okay.
I think some in UP there's some, I don't remember his name again.
Hmm.
He does this something called Avartanshil Kheti.
Okay.
So which is very similar to what Subhash Padekar or Nammalwar has been
Uh-huh.
propagating.
Uh,
Actually what I am following here is more or less
his version.
his version of it.
Okay.
Although again I didn't know about him before I started.
Okay.
But now
Similar to him. Okay.
among all the models I can really fit into.
This model. What is this model? And what is the difference between that and Nammalwar, sir?
It's actually very minor difference, but it fits more into that. Like he says you should have 1/3 of the land for cows,
Oh, okay.
and then 1/3 of the things for forest trees,
Uh-huh.
fruiting trees, and rest of it for field crop, and
Okay.
all those concepts
Mm-hmm.
are fitting into my model.
Okay.
So this model was more or less mix and match of different models I knew of at that time.
Okay.
So that now fits into this.
Okay.
So there is somebody. Then there is also this some Chaurasia in Madhya Pradesh. He goes around and again similar to what Nammalwar has been doing.
Uh-huh.
He also goes and does that.
Uh-huh.
Again, he is also propagating this cow-based organic farming.
Okay.
So there are different people in different places doing like
Okay.
their bits.
Hmm. Cool. That was.
Till now, Subhash Padekar is probably the most.
I mean, have you never heard of him? Who is Subhash?
Never heard of.
Subhash Palekar. No?
He is actually the most successful among all
Okay.
who are propagating this organic farming. He calls it zero budget natural farming.
Okay. He's from Maharashtra,
Yeah,
Karnataka.
he is from Maharashtra. He is by far the most successful proponents of it.
Okay.
Means everybody else is also propagating more or less the same thing, but he is more successful among all.
Okay. Where is his farm or ashram? I mean, kind
He's
of.
from Maharashtra. He goes around in. He himself doesn't have any farm,
Okay.
but he goes and experiments.
He guides other people.
In different farms, and
Okay.
he has a lot of demo farms to show and all. And many people have been practicing it already, and those are he takes people to those farms and
Okay. You have met him?
showcases. No, I have not met him yet.
Okay. You met Nammalwar? No.
I have not met any of them. I have met Narayan Reddy. I have also been to Purushottam Rao's farm, but
Okay.
again, he's not there anymore. But I have met his kids and all those who are continuing that.
Okay.
And I have met this Shivnanjaya Padekar. These are all the previous generation of this.
Okay.
These are all the pioneers of it. the Subhash Palekar are the next generation who are propagating, taking it forward further.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I have not met Nammadwar or Nammadwar is among the previous generation
Yeah.
actually, but I have not met him.
Okay, cool. Anything you want to share for the audience? You want to invite them to Chiguru Farms?
Yeah, I invite in the sense, obviously I'm not very particular about having too many people here.
Okay,
Only those who are really those who want to understand about sustainable living and organic farming and those kind of and nature lovers are obviously welcome. It's not
for everyone.
for everyone.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Thanks for your time.